Have you ever reached out to someone for help with what you're facing and came away feeling worse? Don't be too hard on people. Sometimes they just really don't know what to say. Renowned author Parker Palmer reflected on a previous time of life when he faced serious depression and how people would come and say, "Gosh, Parker, why are you sitting in here being depressed? It's a beautiful day outside. Go feel the sunshine and smell the flowers." And that, of course, he said, leaves a depressed person even more depressed because while you know intellectually that it's sunny out and that the flowers are lovely and fragrant, you can't really feel any of that in your body, which is dead in a sensory way. And so you're left more depressed by this good advice to get out and enjoy the day. This is one reason it can be helpful to connect with professional support. Since counseling can be so beneficial, we work hard at Lyft to connect people with good professionals in their area or online. Others have found physician support and medical management to be an important part of their recovery journey. With all the focus on professional support, though, it's also true that we can sometimes give up on the possibility of other relationships around us being helpful. You know, the people with us every day, in close quarters, living with us and working with us. Sometimes being able to share what's going on with a friend or family member can bring real relief. Having someone hear us out can awaken new courage to make other life changes or begin working through past traumas that might be contributing. Sometimes just being close to another human being is all we need. At his own worst moment, Parker Palmer tells us of an older man, a Quaker elder in his community, who asked permission to come visit him every afternoon about 4 o'clock. As he described it, this man sat me down in a chair in the living room, took off my shoes and socks, and massaged my feet. He hardly ever said anything. Palmer continues, and yet out of his intuitive sense, from time to time, would say a very brief word like, "I can feel your struggle today." Or farther down the road, "I feel that you're a little stronger at this moment, and I'm glad for that." But beyond that, he would say hardly anything. He would give no advice. He would simply report from time to time what he was sort of intuiting about my condition. Somehow, he found the one place in my body, namely the soles of my feet, where I could experience some sort of connection to another human being. And the act of massaging, just, in a way that I really don't have words for, kept me connected with the human race. What he mainly did for me, of course, was to be willing to be present to me in my suffering. Interestingly enough, when you go back in the history of the treatment of the mentally ill, it was the Quaker people who pioneered an approach called moral therapy with strikingly good outcomes. As journalist Robert Whitaker describes it, moral therapy had this principle. We don't know what happened to these people, but we, A, believe they have a God-given capacity to hopefully recover. B, our job is to assist nature in helping people heal. And C, these people are our brethren. They're us. Based on this, the Quakers built a community retreat that became a refuge from the stresses of life, surrounding people by comfort and supportive relationships. For instance, Whitaker summarized, they made sure they had 3 square meals a day. They brought in entertainment in the evening. They set up reading rooms. They helped them garden and exercise. And there was a sense of being a part of this community in a way that helped people get well and go out and do well. Those who have looked at long-term outcomes find that people going into those retreats got better with great regularity, and a high percentage never came back. We've also heard modern-day stories of families who welcomed a family member or friend into their home in a poor emotional state and helped them regain their health with tender, gentle support. We've heard many other stories of distressed people relying on loved ones to be able to get outside in the sunshine more, start eating better, or have the motivation to begin a mindfulness practice. Do you have people like this in your life who can be with you in what you're facing? For some people, their answer is simply, no, I don't. If so, that's okay. We've got coaches, peer groups, and clinicians who can provide support, as well as the whole Lyft community, while you continue looking for people to turn toward in your own life. While it would be nice if this person was close to you, like a closer family member or friend, these people may not always be the most available or even supportive. The truth is, anyone you trust can work. A relative, cousin, neighbor, counselor, or a religious leader. In fact, you might find it beneficial to have several people as your allies. That being said, you don't necessarily need a large network of support. One research team found that simply having one supportive confidant, a close friend or family member, cut the risk of depression in half following a painful event like a separation, divorce, or job loss. Animals have also been used for years now to help both youth and adults facing severe anxiety, including both farm animals and dogs used in animal-assisted therapy. Generally speaking, the more connection you have, the better. Unless you secretly have superhuman powers, this kind of support may well be indispensable to your healing. So please, think twice about doing this on your own. And remember, even superheroes rely on a sidekick in their hour of need.